Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. And we are going to do that with my I Am deck, which is full of positive, beautiful, wonderful affirmations, being a couple of hundred different words, all of which are beautiful and awesome. So I want to say good morning to everybody. The question of the day is your most memorable travel experience. So, what is your most memorable travel experience? And I've had a lot of different traveling experiences. Gosh, I mean, some of them were longer experiences that contained many different experiences within them. I mean, I remember that I took a motorcycle from Pennsylvania and I took it all the way down to Costa Rica from Pennsylvania. So I road tripped across the country twice. I road tripped across the country in my military vehicle, 10-wheel drive, beast of a machine. I remember I accidentally went to China with the wrong visa. Whoops! Had to talk my way out of immigration jail in China. That was definitely very memorable and kind of exciting and fun. Except that I was concerned about potentially not making it out of China. So yeah, all kinds of fun travel experiences that I've had. But I just want to say good morning to you guys for being all here today. I see that Lauren has made it. Good morning, Lauren and Janet. Janet is talking about cross-country ride out to Vegas in a vehicle with no doors. I remember that I've actually seen a picture of that vehicle, Jan. That looks like quite the trip. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Lauren. Lauren says most memorable traveling experience is to Bon Air. The beaches are amazing. So good, nice travel experience there. Good morning, Shauna. Good morning, Dan. Dan says his most memorable travel is a 2-week honeymoon cruise with Stacy. That sounds like fun, being on a cruise for 2 weeks. Good morning, Amanda. Brennan Jean says, I've been to Spain 3 times, Japan twice, and Cambridge, England twice. Love them all. Spain was stunning. I love the people of, Jaon, I guess. Yeah. So, so good morning, Brenda Jean. Good to see you here today. I know that you're definitely a fairly prolific traveler as well. Dan thinks that Singapore was also fairly good. Side trips to Malaysia and Indonesia. You know, I haven't been to Malaysia or Indonesia yet, but I've definitely been out to the Philippines, Japan, China, that part of the world. Good morning, April. Let's see. Good morning, Frank. April loved Belize. Definitely on an adventure with her Frankie. And good morning, Armando. Okay, so we are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I see that Jeff has just joined the broadcast. And I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card. We're going to respond out loud, I am that affirmation. And as we do, we are speaking this life into ourselves. And we are really coming to terms with how awesome that we are. So let's have some fun today. And let's improve our own internal narrative by saying that today, I am faithful. I am faithful. I observe agreements with integrity. So I am faithful. I observe agreements with integrity. Are you faithful? You are faithful. You observe agreements with integrity. And I am going to write that down in the chat. So I am faithful. I observe agreements with integrity. And yeah, the imagery that I chose for this card was a big old anchor chain. This is obviously a very large chain. It's such a large chain, it has one of those pieces in the middle to keep the chain links on their own individual sides so it doesn't kink. But that's an image that I chose for I am faithful. And you know, I am surrounded by people who have a lot of integrity. And integrity is one of the things that I value. Integrity is really, it's about being who we say we are, doing what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. And it takes effort in order to do this. You know, I was born in the year of the dog, and folks in the year of the dog are definitely considered to be, you know, have faithfulness as one of the defining traits. I know Brenna Jean was actually also a year of the dog person. And I don't know if I have any other You're the Dog folks on my broadcast, but faithfulness is just about predictability. It's about understanding what our agreements are and continuing to observe them with integrity. And so what does that even mean? Well, we all have agreements with the people around us, whether they're spoken agreements, whether they're written or codified agreements, whether they're contractual agreements. The fact is that we have agreements with all the people around us surrounding the ways that we behave with each other. And when we observe those agreements, and we observe those agreements in a way that is predictable, we do it with integrity, we do it in line with our own values. And so it's so much easier to hang out with people who have values that we share. And it's really like a mental shortcut for us. It allows us to see what kind of it allows us to understand how to behave in multiple different situations, in numerous situations, when our agreements are based on our values rather than our agreements being based on something more rigid, as to, I do this, you do that sort of a thing. But when we observe agreements with integrity, we are observing agreements in accordance with the values that we have. And it's just a wonderful way of being able to really to have relationships, develop relationships, watch them grow and watch them develop, and understand that because we came into that relationship as people with underlying values, that those values don't necessarily change. And so no matter what the relationship ends up looking like, whatever it turns into, that underlying faithfulness is still there. We are faithful to people. We're not necessarily faithful to situations. We're faithful to people. We love the people around us. We care about the people around us. We understand that they're going to change. We understand that we're going to change. But when we begin a relationship with integrity, and we can continue and sustain that relationship with integrity, that is something that really helps us in life. Because when we have that predictability, and we foster that predictability in ourselves and also in others, then we are able to then we are able to have those long-term relationships that persist even as the individuals in them grow and change. Brenda Jean says, my moral compass points straight north. Even if others are different, I stick to my ethics so I can put my head on the pillow and sleep the sleep of the clear of conscience. I love it, Brenda Jean. So we are faithful people, and this card today is our permission slip to reconsider the agreements that we have with the people who are around us, and to ask ourselves, where are we in integrity in those agreements, and where aren't we, so that we can get back into integrity in places that we're not, and so that we can refocus on the values that brought us together with the people that we hang out with in general. And so, and as we do that, we are also giving ourselves the gift of being around the people that are on the same life path as us, who have similar values that we do, and who are ultimately going to be the most helpful to us as we continue to navigate this thing called life. So I want to say thank you guys so much for being here today. It is always wonderful to see you guys show up. A lot of you guys are faithful to show up every single day, and to be here, to be just making sure that you show up all the time. I'm faithful to be here every morning at 9 a.m. And one of the reasons that I do that is because I made that agreement with myself. And so I observe that agreement with myself with integrity. And so we make agreements with others. We make agreements with ourselves. We decide what our own self-image is, and then we live up to it. And so that is how we are doing life today. I am faithful. You are faithful too. And we observe our agreements with integrity. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. I will return tomorrow at 9 a.m. with another wake-up call. And as we continue to go through this deck, which I'm getting closer to being nearer to the end of, I still probably have another 30 or 40 cards to go through before we have completely cycled through them all. But as we do that, then I'm starting to think about the next steps for these cards, where I'm going with them. And yeah, so while I figure that out and figure out how to bring this message to a larger audience, I appreciate that you guys are just coming by every day and helping me to get better at doing this show, and that you guys just come by every day and yeah, just be those be the awesome people that I share life with. So thank you for being here. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. We will return with another card. Until then, I love you and care about you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Aloha from paradise.